Jay's Custom Creations is supported by Timber King Sawmills. For more information on my 1220 CRZ sawmill or many other fully hydraulic sawmills, go to timberking.com. The CNC build continues today, starting with the rails. This tape measure represents the rail as it's supposed to be installed, or as this machine is supposed to be assembled if you follow the instructions and build it in a non-modified way. So 15 3/4 of an inch from that front rail from that front leg is where the front of the rail would typically be. And like I said, I want a vertical table up front, so whichever way you want to look at it, I shifted the rail back or shifted the front two leg assemblies forward, so I only have about 7 inches of overhang right here. So that's where it's supposed to be. You can see how much we've changed. Now, when it's out here in space, there's a front rail, and then the second rail is right in line with the legs. I'm going to remove that front rail and put the second rail as the front rail right here in front of this leg. Therefore, I've got an extra, well, may or may not have an extra front rail or extra rail over here. Now, when you space these out evenly, depending on what size machine you have, the gap between the last rail and the second to last rail is variable according to the instructions. So depending on what size machine you have, you may have a bigger or smaller gap. Well, because I'm going to modify this front up here, I think I'm actually going to have a larger gap than typical. I think, maybe, I'm not exactly sure, but that's the way it's looking like as of right now, because I want to repurpose that front rail, which is essentially removing one from the span, but I want to repurpose that front rail and put it somewhere right here, somewhere in between what will be the front rail up here and this bottom rail right there. That way I have some more clamping options for the vertical table. I'm not exactly sure how I want to, I know what I want to accomplish with the vertical table, but I don't have it all designed out. I'm kind of doing this as I go. So this will give me some more options for clamping if I have another rail right here, and just overall stiffen up the vertical table. One thing that I noticed with my vertical table in my last machine is if my vertical piece, if it did not span all the way down to the bottom over here, there was a little bit of a flex in that MDF. Not much, probably not to make much of a difference at all, but putting another solid rail right here should really stiffen it up. Again, I don't think it's too important, but that's what I'm going to do. These three pieces are responsible for all the magic putting this together. You have a socket head cap screw, you have a slide in T-nut, and an anchor fastener right here. So the slide in T-nuts, at any time you can slide them into the rails like that, and then you have a T-nut location where you can put one of these screws and it holds into every one of these rails. But when you combine them, all three of these, you get this little assembly right here, which is pretty darn interesting if you ask me. These go into these recesses on the end of all the rails, and what you're left with is this dangling out into space. So you can take any rail, this is just for example, this doesn't go there, but you can take any rail and slide it in like so. Maybe I can do this with one hand. Slide it in like so, and if you want to connect that, you take a ball-ended Allen wrench and you can slide it into here and tighten that down. It's kind of finicky with one of these. In some places you have to use an Allen wrench like this. But if you have some sockets with a ball Allen wrench on the end, or a ball screw Allen wrench, what is this called? Ball-headed Allen wrench, something. Well, here they are. Long ball head hex socket. Anyway, you can pick these up at Harbor Freight. They're really cheap and super handy around the shop. A couple extensions with this, and then you can get down in here and tighten them very easily and much quicker than using one of these. One thing that is in the instructions that wasn't last time, or maybe I just didn't read it properly, is a little tip to put some tape on these. That way when you have them, let me get this off of here. That way when you have them installed in both ends, top and bottom here, you can rotate the rail around and get it in place, and these aren't going to fall out. So I've got one end of one rail down, 2 or 3 more to go, I guess. Actually like 50. Quick correction, I used all these slide-in T-nuts for the base, individual slide-in T-nuts on one of these socket head cap screws. But for the rails, to eliminate the need for this tape altogether, well, get off of me, tape. These individual slide-in T-nuts are replaced with a double slide-in T-nut. That way, these are now captured in the rail, and if you slide it left and right, which we will slide these left and right, we're not going to be pulling these out of the hole here. Therefore, you don't need any tape to hold them in at all. All right. We got all the rails installed. Yeah, me, myself, and I guess. I don't know where we came from. Anyway, all the rails are installed and some braces are installed all the way around. I did, like I said, steal this first rail, so I put it a little bit down right there, and I think this is going to work out quite all right. Again, I don't think it's 100% necessary, but it makes me feel a little bit better. So no first front rail, and because I stole that and the spacing, I continued that spacing all the way back. And I think I misspoke a little while ago and said that the last gap is variable. It's the second to last gap that's variable. So I believe the instructions say that this one should still have that 14 and 3/16 spacer block right here, and then this one is variable, and that's because this rail is typically over here at the back, but because I stole one from the front, I don't have a back rail. And I'm not entirely sure if that's okay or if that's going to be a problem. I kind of sort of think it's going to be okay, because if you think about where the gantry is, all the way at the Y max value, the gantry is like this wide, so the spindle's on this side of it, which means the spindle is going to be over here. So this should be plenty enough support for the work area, and it may actually be too far this way for the spindle to actually touch. We'll find out. Either way, I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. And if it is, well, this side's open-ended. You just slide another rail on right there. I can purchase another rail and stick it there, and everything will be fine. Also, for this front rail, you saw me jack up the machine right there so I could slide that rail on from below. So this is the actual technical first rail, and this is the one that's supposed to be down there. Just slid them up, right? I don't think I actually had to do all that. Now, I did have to do that if I wanted to use these, which are for the rails. I've got one extra because I accidentally missed one over there, but that's okay because I'll show you in a second how you can add those there if you accidentally miss one. But these, you can't slide in, like they can't be inserted this way. They have to be inserted on the end, like so. Because they have to be inserted on the end, I already had this bolted together, and I thought, oh man, how am I going to get that other rail in there? Well, I just slid that one up and then took the feet off and then slid one on from the bottom. However, I think that was all unnecessary, because over here, one of these rails, I think it's the bottom one over there. Let me walk over there. On that one, as I got to tightening down the rails with the spacer, I realized that, let's see, is it that one? Is it that one? I can't even tell. They all look the same. But anyway, I accidentally forgot this whole bottom section. So these two on both sides were missing. And I thought, well, snap, how am I going to get this to slide in all the way through? Well, that's where you use the roll-in pieces. So I used a roll-in, stuck it in there, and then this whole assembly gets installed this way. The socket head cap screw, the anchor, and then the push-in T-nut. I can get the screw started right here out of the rail and then slide it in place. So no major mistake there, just kind of sort of a order of operations mistake, easily fixable. And that's where I'm going to end it today. I've got a lot of more work to do, and I'm not getting as much done every day that I want to get done, but I'm trying to prioritize family time, and also I'm trying to edit every single day. So maybe 4 or 5 hours here in the shop, a couple hours on the computer, and then of course family time trumps everything. So I'll see you guys the next day, hopefully tomorrow, and we'll pick up right there.